Hello. Hi, this is Belinda from Belinda's Book Nook, and today I'm here to do a book tag. I was not tagged. I saw it and I liked it, so I'm doing it. This one is called the TBR Book Tag, and I think that a video I saw it on was The Broken Spine, but I think she said it originated from A Perfectionist Called Books. And I'll link everything below for those two channels so that you can see. But I just decided that I would just, go on and steal the tag and do it myself. I'm going to break it down into two videos, so a part 1 and a part 2, because I like to keep my videos short. And there's 12 questions, and sometimes I ramble. So just in case, it's best to make them into 2. So I'll do 6 questions and then 6 questions. And then at the end, I will give you, I'll tag some people, and then I'll tag some people in the second part as well. So, and I'll leave the names of the people I tag below the video. So the first question is, and again, this is called the TBR Book Tag. How do you keep track of your TBR pile? Now, these questions are like, making me really have to sit and be honest with how often I put things on my TBR. But for this first question, how do you keep track of your TBR? I don't do a good job, I realized. I thought I did better until I looked at this question. I have 4 different places roughly that I keep TBRs. So that in itself tells you that, okay, how do you reconcile them all, and keep them all in order? And I don't. And I don't worry about it because you know what? I probably will never read everything on my TBR. I have realized that because I am a slow reader, and it's just not going to happen. And other things keep coming up and things get pushed back. But I'm answering the question. The 4 places that I keep track of them are, I have a book journal, which I think one day I'll do, if you guys want me to, a video of my book journal. I keep track in here of TBRs. I write reviews in here. I write all sorts of different stuff in it. I'm consistent sometimes, and sometimes I fall off just like regular journaling, but I really like having it. So this is one place that I keep it. The other place that I keep track of a TBR is on some apps. So one of them is Hoopla. And what I do in Hoopla is they have a feature and that's connected to my library. I put a heart on it if I want to read it, and then I can go back to all the books that I hearted. Now, I'm sure that messes up the system because I don't know if that's letting people know or thinking that that's a book I don't know. It does have a rating system as well, so I don't think it messes up. I don't know for everyone else. But for me, how I organize it, if I like a book in there and I see it, or I hear about a book and I look and I find out it's there, I'll put a heart on it, and then when I go look at the ones that I hearted, I can just see those books and not everything that's being offered. I said 4 things, it's 5 things, because I also do Libby, which is another app. And on Libby, I have categorized them very nicely. I have like a social justice TBR, I have a history TBR, I have a sci-fi / fantasy TBR. So in there, I do categorize them with tags. So in that one, that one is kind of organized. It's nice. The only thing that I have to say about it is I'm not sure if after I read a book, it pulls it off automatically. So it may skew my numbers if if it doesn't. And I don't know if any of these pull them off necessarily. I know in Hoopla, I will try to take the heart off and then rate the book after I read it when I'm being good. And then another place that I do my TBR is I have what is called a TBR bookcase. And yes, you heard me correctly. I said a bookcase. I don't have I love these people that I have a shelf. I saw Dee Dee organized hers, and she's got the cart. I love those carts, by the way. But no, a cart will not hold all the books that I have in my house that I need to read. I have to have a bookshelf. So these are things not to brag about, and I'm putting it all out there, but I have a bookshelf in my office that has, and I'm saying it like this because it's like this from top to the bottom. And there's a few books that have snuck in there that have been read that I have to be pulled out of there, but they're books that I haven't read yet. I will stick them in there when they come in the house, and hopefully I get to them if I don't go off on a tangent somewhere else. The other place that I keep track is on Goodreads. Now Goodreads, this was good that I did this tag, because on Goodreads, I've been on there for years, and I've been like, oh, I want to read this, I want to read this. Or if you enter a contest, they force you to it'll put it on you want to read, TBR, right? I need to clean it up, because I've got years of stuff that I don't want to read anymore. So I think that, again, my numbers are skewed on there. So I do need to go through there and probably pull a large amount of books off of there that I don't want to read anymore. Which always feels weird to me, because I always feel like I'm just, I'm doing something so wrong to the book when I say I don't want to read you anymore. But, I mean, there's only so much time, and there's so many new things coming out too that I want to read. So let's see, what else do we have? The next question, those are the places basically where I keep track. Is your TBR mostly in print or ebook? Now, see, this is a hard one to answer. I'm not sure, because I have a lot of ebooks marked. And sometimes when I hear about a book, I will go into Libby and I will go into Hoopla and see if I can either get myself on the list before they are actually there, from the library, and get myself on hold. Or I will put them on hold because a lot of people are, getting the book if I want to read it. Or I'll just put it in my TBR in there. But I don't necessarily always read it in some format. Sometimes the books are something I'm going to actually buy. Some books I might, when the library's open, I might have physically gotten out. So I don't know. I have a lot of books that I own. And I have a lot of books that I have in there. And I want to say there's probably more ebooks, because if you count my Kindle and my backlog of library of books there, that alone could just sink anybody. So I'm going to say ebooks. Okay. And also because I'm also trying not to buy everything anymore. So I am trying to read them first and say, okay, would I really, really want it or not? Okay. I have mosquito bite. I'm scratching. I'm sorry. All right, the next question, number 3, is how do you determine which book from your TBR to read next? I have no method. I am definitely a mood reader. I like the last few months, I've kind of been in a funk with everything going on in the country, and just that compounded with the pandemic. And then there's times where I'm just feeling heavy and I need light, I need fast, I need something that's going to be a relief. There are times where I just want to read the heavy, and I'm okay with that. So I don't really have a way to determine that. Sometimes I even will go and sit in front of that bookcase in my office, and I will just go like this. And it's like being in a bookstore for me. I still love looking at books, especially like ones I haven't read. And I go, ooh. And I sit and I'll look at it and I'll think, and what is it about again? I'll read it, I'll pull it down and look at back, and looking at what the description is may or may not make it something that I'm going to read right now. So there's no real method. Sometimes I'll do seasonal things. Sometimes I will do read-alongs like I'm doing now, and buddy reads. So that will dictate what I'm going to read. Sometimes, like I said, like seasonal, maybe I want to read mysteries. I love reading mysteries in the wintertime, kind of the cozy reads during March Mystery Madness. I didn't do this year, but I usually do a Japanese June. I have a lot of books, Japanese books I will read during that time. But in June, I think I was doing the Caribbean and Caribbean Heritage Month, and that was so much fun. So next year, I think I'll have to I'll balance. Maybe I'll sneak in some Japanese June in with that. But sometimes I do it like that. So, I'm not very good. That's why the TBR thing is never really good for me, because sometimes I just drop everything and read something totally different than I think. Let's see. What books have been on your TBR the longest? I really don't. If I looked at the Goodreads, like I said, there's things in there I don't want to read anymore, so I'm not even going to count some of those. And I couldn't really tell the dates I put them on the other apps. But one that I wanted to mention, or two, sorry, that I want to mention that I have had a long time and I really want to read. And I kind of feel embarrassed I haven't, but whatever. I'm sure I'm not the only one that hasn't read it. But the Purple purple. The Purple Hibiscus by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I have this one. Isn't that a pretty cover? I've had this one a long time. And with her, it's died down now, but there was so much talk. I can't take it, you know, as much. I love it, and I'm probably gonna love the books, but I just needed a break. So I didn't want to bother with it when everybody's reading it. But I think now the dust is settled, it could be read. This is definitely one. This one is set in Nigeria. She's a Nigerian author, and this one definitely is one I want to get to. You know, I just want to read some more of her stuff. You know, so that's one. Another one is another author. This author, I've read almost all of her books, with the exception of maybe two. And what? Two, I think. The very newest and this one, I think. But I've read her since the beginning of time. And if you've listened to my channel, you know I've talked about her. Her name is Sujata Misay. And I read her books since she first published. I actually got her ARC when I was working at a job called the Christian Science Monitor. I actually worked there for a period of time in their web department section, and we had opportunities to get access to books the book reviewers were reading, and we actually got a chance too to review books as well if we wanted to do a review. But they'd have a day that they would put all these books on the table that they've already read or they're not going to read, and you can grab them. It's like candy. It was so much fun. It was like my favorite day. So I would go down there with everybody else. You know, you rush because you want to get the best things. And I remember seeing her first book, and it was a series, a mystery series that she had, that Ray Shimura series that I loved. And I read every single one of her books from that point forward, because I liked how it gave you an aspect of the Japanese culture, but it also had a good story like around it. And it had all these main characters that would float through the different books. There would be, you know, 3 or 4 people that would continue through the series. So it was just lovely. And so this is not part of that series. This one's called The Sleeping Dictionary. And I've had it. Isn't it? It's a nice, gorgeous book as well. And I just haven't read it. I feel bad because I like to be able to say that I've read all of an author's books, and especially when I like them, obviously. And this is one that's been hanging over me. So this is one that I definitely want to get to and I haven't gotten to. And I don't know if I'm running out of time because I'm talking slow. I feel like I'm talking slow. The next one is name a book that you recently added to your TBR. Okay, this one I can answer easily. I popped into Goodreads to do something, and I saw Dee Dee from Brown Girl Reading. You know, like you'll tell people that you're friends with what they actually just added to their list, their TBR. And she added this book, and I said, oh, I looked at it, and I'm like, I have to read it too. So I'm doing a read along with her with Read So Lit, and we're reading Shinto. And the same author has another book, and it's called Manchester Happened. And that's the one Dee Dee put down in. I just added it to my TBR right away. This is the cover of it. I don't know if you can see it. She's a Ugandan author. And this one is a short story collection. And I'm really starting to get a little more excited about short stories. So I definitely want to put this one on my list as one to read on her backlist. And the author's name is Jennifer Nansubuga Makumbi. I probably said it wrong, but that's the best I can do. And that's Manchester Happened. So that's the one I put most recently on my list. And then the last question I'm going to do for this video, and then I'll record a second one, is name a book that's on your TBR specifically because of its beautiful cover. I have a lot of those, but I realized some of them had beautiful covers and I really wanted to read them. Others had, these two have beautiful covers and I don't know if I'll read them, but I love the covers. So let's look at the first one, okay? And maybe it's not beautiful to you, but I think this one's beautiful. Look at that one. And I don't know when I got this. I know I got it a while ago, and it's got like the deckled edges on it, which I actually really love. And it's got that like velvety cover, but it's just beautiful, right? And this one's called House Girl. It's by Michael Doncor. And I know nothing about it right now, but I do know when I opened up the flap, when I picked this one up to use this for this video, guess what the character's name is? Belinda. Wouldn't it be so cool to read a book with my name in it? So now I'm thinking, this might not just be a pretty cover. This might actually get read because the name of the character is Belinda. It says, basically, Belinda knows how to follow the rules. She's learned the right way to polish water glasses, to wash and fold 100 handkerchiefs, and to keep a tight lid on the memories of the village she left when she came to Kumasi to work as a live-in maid. She's trying to teach Mary the rules. 11 years old and irrepressible. Mary is the house girl in training, the little sister Belinda never had. Aunt Amma is sick of the rules. Even though she continues to earn straight A's at her exclusive London school, she's no longer the outgoing and vivacious girl her Ghanaian parents have raised her to be. So when Amma's mother and father meet Belinda on a visit home, they bring her back with them to London, convinced that she's the shining example their wayward daughter needs. But how can she abandon one friend for another who would rather be alone? Belinda's tasks feel impossible, but as the months pass and her life in Kumasi recedes, she and Amma find common ground. The truth is that both girls have built strong defenses, and neither is fully prepared to tear them down. Sounds good, too. I don't even know. This is a good a good tag, because it's just making me find stuff. Like I tell you, I have lots of hidden gems here. So not just a pretty cover, it looks like it's going to be good. Okay? And it looks like it was Best Fiction of 2018 by The Guardian, it said. So I'm going to read about Belinda. All right, the last one. I know I'm going slow. This one's gorgeous. And it's blurred by Justina Ireland, which is great because I did love her book. But this one is called Queen of the Conquered by Kaysen Calendar. And they will know her vengeance. But look at that. All right. And then it wraps around to like the back. It's got the snakes on it too. But I think that's gorgeous. And I think I've seen it online. I just don't know what people say because I don't want to read other people's reviews. But this one really quick. This is on the island of Hans Lolik. Sigourney Rose was the only survivor when her family was massacred by the colonizers. Now the king of the islands has declared that he will choose his successor from among eligible noble families. And Sigourney is ready to exact her revenge. I think it's like a fantasy novel. But you know, you don't really see a lot of fantasy novels too in science fiction with Black people on it. So I love this. I just thought it was gorgeous. Look at those again. So that's my last question for this. I'm going to do another one. Those are the pretty covers. So the people I'm going to tag is Kay from Kay the Reader, Marina for Young Gifted in Black, Natalie from Curious Reader, Lady from Lady Freeform Lady, and Dee Dee from Brown Girl Reading. I'm going to put them below. Y'all better do it because I want to see how you guys answer these questions. If you've done it, let me know because I don't know. You know, I'm so behind in videos, you might have done it already. But if you haven't, do it. I'll talk to you guys later. I hope you're washing your hands, being safe, and reading.